Hey, so real quick, have you noticed that the longer you stay home, the harder it gets to actually leave? Like, you'll go a few days without really going anywhere, and then when you finally have to go out, it feels way more uncomfortable than it should. Even something simple, like running an errand, starts to feel kind of daunting. That's not laziness. That's your brain doing exactly what it's designed to do. Here's what's happening. Your nervous system is constantly scanning your environment for what's safe and what's not. And the more time you spend at home, the more your brain starts to categorize home as the baseline for normal. It becomes your comfort zone, literally, and anything outside of that zone starts to feel slightly threatening, even when it isn't. There's a concept in psychology called behavioral avoidance. Basically, when we avoid something, we get short-term relief. Staying home feels good, it's comfortable, there's no friction. But that relief actually reinforces the avoidance. Your brain learns, we stayed in, nothing bad happened, let's do that again. Over time, the outside world doesn't just feel less appealing, it starts to feel genuinely harder to access. And this got turbocharged for a lot of people during the pandemic. Millions of people spent months at home, and their threshold for what felt normal completely shifted. Going out stopped being a default and became a choice, one that required effort and justification. Now add to that the fact that home has never been more entertaining. You've got streaming, social media, food delivery, remote work. Everything your life needs is theoretically accessible from your couch. The friction of going outside used to be worth it because you had to go outside to get things. Now you don't. So your brain asks a very reasonable question, why bother? But here's where it gets a little tricky. Social and physical exposure, actually being out in the world around other people, is something humans genuinely need. Not in a vague, motivational poster way, in a real neurological way. Being around other people, navigating new environments, even just the sensory experience of being outside, all of that keeps your brain calibrated. It keeps your social instincts sharp and your anxiety in check. When you withdraw from that, the calibration drifts. Small things start to feel bigger. Social interactions feel more effortful. You might notice you're more anxious about situations that never used to bother you. It's not that you've become a different person. It's that the muscle hasn't been used, and muscles that don't get used start to atrophy. The good news is that this works in reverse too. The more you go out, even for small things, the easier it gets. Your brain relearns that the outside world is manageable. The threshold shifts back. You stop having to psych yourself up to go to the grocery store. The practical takeaway here is really simple. You don't need to overhaul your lifestyle. You just need to create a little regular friction. Leave the house every day, even if it's just for a walk around the block. Meet someone in person once a week instead of texting. Sit in a coffee shop for an hour instead of working from your bedroom. These aren't huge sacrifices. They're just enough to keep the calibration from drifting too far. Because here's the thing. Nobody wakes up one day and decides they don't want to engage with the world anymore. It happens gradually, one comfortable day at a time. And by the time you notice it, the gap between where you are and where you want to be can feel really wide. It doesn't have to be. The door is still right there. You just have to keep using it. If this resonated with you, drop a comment. I'm curious how many people have actually noticed this happening in their own lives. And if you found it useful, subscribe, because I make videos like this pretty regularly. See you in the next one. Sonnet 4.6.